Hi, this is GED teacher Damon Tennant, and in this video we're going to cover a GED social studies question. Now, this is very important because on the GED test you're going to see a variety of different types of questions on the social studies test, but one of the main things they're going to be testing you on is your ability to evaluate and interpret charts and graphs. So here is a chart and graph here, and you'll see which statement below is most accurate about China's GDP in 2015. And so if you've been with me for any period of time, you know that one of the things I advocate is before you even get into the question and then the options for answers, the multiple choice, you want to jump into this chart and make sure you understand the chart first. So you're going to see up here, this is GDP of large world economies. So on the GED test, they do assume that you know certain things, certain concepts, certain vocab. So GDP is an acronym for gross domestic product, and it is something that is measured in many different ways. And so I just took this data from an online source that provides the data about gross domestic product of national economies. And so you'll come up here and you'll see, well, green, that's Japan, and you'll see blue, that's USA, and then you'll see the purple, that's China. And so you're going to see the GDPs of these three countries, okay? And then you know over here, this is GDP in billions, so this is 17,000 billion, so basically 17 trillion. Then you're going to come down here. This was in 2014, this was in 2015, and this is in 2016. Okay, so now that we know what this chart is showing us, that in 2014 the US GDP, and then in 15 it grew, and then in 16 it grew, and then we see here in China it grew and it grew. But we see here in Japan it dipped in 15 and then picked back up in 16. So you just want to jump in and make sure you understand what the chart is showing you. And now we come over here to the question. So the question is, China lagged the US GDP by 5 trillion. Or B, the US had a GDP of approximately 7 trillion greater than China's GDP. Or C, Japan was more than 9 trillion behind China in terms of its GDP. Or Japan was approximately 6 trillion behind China in terms of its GDP. So the question is, which statement below is most accurate? And that's very important because we don't have exact numbers here, so that's why most accurate is being used here. Now, and then remember, we're looking at 2015. So one of the first answers here is China lagged the U.S. by 5 trillion. So we have to take that 215, go down here to 215, go up here to China. Okay, so right here it's a little bit over 11 trillion. Okay, so that'd be a little bit over 12 trillion, 1 trillion, a little bit over 13 trillion, 2 trillion, a little bit over 14, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so about 7. So the China lagged the U.S. GDP by 5 trillion would be untrue because we see here that there's actually a $7 trillion gap in 2015. So we already know that that's the answer. But now just look at a few other of these. Japan was more than 9 trillion behind China in terms of its GDP. Well, you come down here to Japan and you got, it's somewhere in the middle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it wasn't 6 trillion, it wasn't 9 trillion behind, so we know that wasn't true. But here, D, it does say 6 trillion. But the trick there is the question was about 2015. And in 2014, it was behind 6 trillion. But in 2015, where the question is being asked, it was not. So usually on these types of problems, you'll have one, of course, that's correct, and then you have one that might be, and then two that are kind of out of it if you misread the question. So again, this has been GED teacher Damon Tennant walking with you through a sample GED social studies type question. If you like this video, please hit like. That lets YouTube know these videos are valuable and they will show them to more people. If you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and you will get notifications as I upload more videos. Thank you.